already know dips happen and they always look scary. Now, what about altcoins? Are they done?
Did somebody make $190 million while everyone else was losing their shirts yesterday? If you don't know, there was one of the biggest crashes we've ever seen in crypto.
The whole space in cryptocurrency has been crashing, and it really hasn't been looking too good for the past few months. But I am genuinely not worried. Now, am I delusional? Probably, yes. Are you delusional? But if you follow the crypto space and if you're at all in the crypto space, then probably yeah. But my friends, this video is not about how delusional we are. Because before you start watching this video, I want you to remember this one very important thing, and make sure you listen. I want you to remember that scared money don't make no money. And you'll see why this is so important as we move forward with the video, my friends. If you're new here, hello, my name is Vic. I help ambitious men get smarter with their money. And I also do like crypto, which is why I'm making this video as well. Because I'm sure the ambitious men that are watching this video right now have either invested into crypto or are definitely interested in getting into crypto. But what you do with your money, my friends, is completely up to you, and this is not financial advice. But I'm confident that you enjoy this video and like it. Because I've specifically dedicated my channel to help ambitious men like yourselves to get smarter, more educated, and better with money. And that involves money revolving around crypto as well. But let's get straight into it to show you why I'm not worried about crypto and possibly why you shouldn't be worried either. Let's get started, mate. Please subscribe and share. Now, this first clip, make sure you listen, my friends, because this is very important. It's basically going to set up the whole video. And in my own opinion, why investing sentiment has been so low and why crypto, in my opinion, has been underperforming, especially over the last couple of weeks. And I'm sure you all know who this person is.
Did somebody make $190 million while everyone else was losing their shirts yesterday? If you don't know, there was one of the biggest crashes we've ever seen in crypto. And someone came in 24 hours before and started placing shorts against the market. Short is just when you bet that the underlying asset is going to go down in price and you will make money on that. Now, this all started October 9th at 1639 GMT time. They start accumulating this Bitcoin short. They initially put, and this is not chump change, guys. This isn't under your couch, pennies. This is $80 million that initially gets deposited, and they start placing shorts against Bitcoin. Okay? That's fine. Now, the amount is unusual, but that itself is not the unusual part. Then we have Ethereum starts to get shorted at 349 GMT. Interesting. $30 million gets deposited into this account. Immediately start placing major bets that the market is going to go down. Why is this significant? Well, because at 14:57, this is only a few hours later, like 12 hours later, Trump posts on Truth Social that they are calculating a massive increase on Chinese tariffs. This is due to a rare earth mineral dispute. But the point is, nobody knew this was coming, except, of course, maybe this guy.
Now, in my opinion, this is without a doubt the easiest market manipulation I've ever seen. Obviously, I'm not going to make allegations to who it is. I do have an idea of who it is, but just for politics' sake and stuff like this, I'm not going to say anything. We can all have our own opinions. But it was definitely insider information. Because genuinely, when President Trump posted about the China tariffs, it's very interesting that he would post that the day after this happened. There was even another video I saw by Tim Warren, which I thought was very interesting because he showed the actual post on X, but it really did look set up. Now, I'm not saying it was, obviously I've got no idea, but whoever did this must have known what was about to happen, because that, even for a trader, is substantial amounts of money to invest in, especially on a bet of going short. Considering the Bitcoin is meant to go into its ultra bull run, and crypto in general is meant to go into its ultra bull run in the next few months. So either this was the luckiest guess on planet Earth with substantial amounts of cash, which I really highly doubt. I genuinely don't believe that at all, in my opinion. Or this was the best market manipulation we have ever seen in cryptocurrency, which is what I believe is more likely the truth. But regardless, why does this make me not worried? It's because my bet is that this was a massive market manipulation. And because of that, I believe this is masking the actual bull run of 2025/early 2026. So many things have happened late last year and this year, like the Bitcoin ETF being introduced, so many talks about the China tariffs, other political mentions as well. There's just too many. I don't even like politics. I don't even want to follow politics. There's been so much war going on as well in the last year. So many different aspects you can look from, which has really negated investing sentiment from being its ultra top where it can be. And because of this, I personally believe it could either go into a ultra bull run just for only a couple months, maybe even a month, and then the whole of crypto will come crashing down again, or we just go down from here. But in this next clip, I'll show you again, even if that was the case, this is why I'm not worried. Have a look at this next clip.
Everyone asking, should we panic right now? No. Should you sell everything? If you've seen a few market cycles, if you've been in crypto for 3-4 years, you already know dips happen and they always look scary. Now, what about altcoins? Are they done? Most projects are just reacting to the recent market drop, mainly from liquidity issues, so not total collapse. Now, is there still hope? Always. So markets move in cycles. First pain, then recovery. Now here's the thing, guys. When the market does recover, only a small group of people usually comes out ahead. They are the ones who stay calm and think long term. So don't follow the noise or the fear. Stay patient, stay smart, and keep learning.
In my opinion, it's very simple, my friends. But the big macro projects are down already anyway by 10 to 40, 50%. So you have to remember that the altcoins, the smaller projects, will be down substantially even more so. However, that is where you make most of the profit. It just depends on your risk tolerance. I think this comment's very good by Siren. Have a read. She says, it gets worse by the day, but I'm not selling. It's already too down to attempt selling anything. And then Alex Clive, who's the creator of this TikTok, so thank you, Alex. He says it's simple, just don't stress from now on. If it goes up, then good. If it goes down, then also good. You're already too down to worth taking profits, so just have patience. For me, that's always been my ethos. Even if something goes down, if I genuinely believe in it, I would buy more of it at a discounted price. And even though Alex Becker always says this, I've genuinely even believed this even before Alex Becker. With crypto, it's like going to a casino and you're going to bet on red on the roulette table, right? But on red, it's 50-50 odds. So if I put in £100, I get 100 back plus my stakes. That's £200. That's a 2x. However, you still have 50% chance of losing all your money, 100% of your money, whether it's crypto casino. The way I see it, it's really not as bad at all, because if you lose, you're probably going to lose most likely 80 to 90, 95% of your money. Most likely won't be 100% unless you're really unlucky. And if you do win, you're going to win 3x, 5x, 10x, 20x, 50x plus. Even with decent macro projects like Avalanche, in my opinion, also known as AVAX, that is easily from now, in my own opinion, a 3-5x away from where it is currently, probably even a bit more. In my opinion, my friends, the crypto market and the stock market are really not too dissimilar, except the way they function is substantially different, but the overall structure of it is similar. When there are dips in good projects, keyword in good projects, right? So the macro caps, the ones with massive, massive market caps in the crypto space. So your top 10 coins like XRP, AVAX, Cardano, Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin, all of these sorts of coins, right? In my own opinion, when they're substantially down, they're the safest investments in crypto, in my own opinion. For some of these altcoins even to go up, nothing really needs to happen, just a tiny bit of hype, and they can do substantial numbers for no reason. Crypto genuinely is a scam. Over 90, maybe I would say even 95% of these projects don't even have any actual value to them. However, if you invest in them, they'd still make you money. So even though it's a scam, it's still definitely an opportunity. As we've seen in the last three cycles, how the wave and how the inflow of crypto works through Bitcoin, down to Ethereum, down to Solana, and then down to the other alts, into the micro caps. And by the way, my friends, the reason it gets overhyped is because they want to increase the liquidity pool, because when they increase the liquidity pool, basically, it means that they will use you as extra liquidity. The people that are just being promoted, they will go like, oh, crypto space, it's hot right now, let me invest money. And then those big dogs that have actually been in there for 2-3 years waiting patiently, they will be the ones cashing out, because in order to cash out a big sum of money, you need to make sure that the liquidity pool is big enough, meaning that the actual cash present in the coin, aka the liquidity in the coin, is actually big enough so that when you cash it out, there's enough money for you to actually cash out. Because there have been substantial issues where someone has invested so much and their actual investment is so substantial, but they can't sell because there's not enough liquidity in the actual space of the coin. This is by far the worst way to invest, but regardless, nonetheless, it is still an opportunity. As long as you can stomach and you feel comfortable investing very small amounts that you can definitely afford to lose, because more than likely, my friends, more than likely, 90+% chance you will lose and you will leave this market in a loss, more than likely. But regardless, it is still worth it to invest a very tiny bit of your portfolio, of your actual net worth into these coins, because you can obtain gains you literally can't anywhere else in the markets. And the risk to reward ratio is absolutely worth it, in my own opinion.
Coin and crypto won't make you rich unless you use them properly. Maybe you're not currently as wealthy as you'd like and the system keeps making it harder. I get it, me too, but you can't rush this. You have to ignore all the hype and most of what you see on social media. Just ask yourself, will this matter in 10 years' time? That little move in the price or that little bit of news that everyone's talking about. The only way through this is to avoid hype, stay away from trading, and please make a boring long-term plan. If you own Bitcoin and you're wondering when to sell, maybe you've misunderstood what it's actually for. Now, of course, you can trade a bit of crypto if you need short-term cash, but don't confuse that with building wealth.
I agree with this guy, and my plan is actually very simple in crypto. Now, my strategy is simple, but it's relatively long. And if you do want to discuss it in your own strategies, I like having these discussions with the ambitious men watching my channel. If you do want to become part of the growing community where you have access to me and all of the resources I've made for you, it's taken me months and months to build, then if you click the link below or in my bio, my friend, you can join the Ambitious Breakthrough Club, which is my online community. Feel free to explore it. There's a 7-day free trial, and it's all about money discussions, building wealth together. Because even though we're on our own separate journeys, it's good to talk to people all around the world and make friendships with them. Because I'm selfish, and I prefer to be friends with people that are going somewhere in life and are actually building their wealth. And if you feel your friend group isn't enough like this, my friend, or even if it is, it would be great to talk to you in the community and connect. The price is the most affordable way it will ever be for the first 100 members to join it. It's literally at $1 a month, and even before that, there's a 7-day free trial, like I said. But one of the indicators that I personally follow, my friend, is this one that I'm about to share with you on the screen right now. There are a few other really good ones that I follow, but again, I can't show them to you all here. By all means, if you want to ask me inside the online community, you can, because I'm a lot more available there. But one of these is this one. It's the Bitcoin rainbow chart, and I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. And as you can see, it's been pretty damn accurate for guessing the lowest points. Because I know Bitcoin is the leading digital reserve currency for the crypto space, then more often than not, all the other cryptos below it, especially Ethereum and all the altcoins under the Ethereum ecosystem and Solana ecosystem, etc., will be doing exceptionally bad. They'll be significantly and substantially down. So therefore, when Bitcoin is at its lowest level, normally, generally, in my own opinion, from my experience, it's actually the best time to buy, as long as you're buying into good projects, especially in my own opinion, the macro projects. And even though crypto in general is becoming a bit more mature now, it's still not fully matured yet. But no one has the power to predict the future, so I could be wrong in all of this. Pay very, very close attention to this next video, my friend, because this is, in my own opinion, how I invest in cryptocurrency. Pay close attention.
Problem with investing in crypto is that you lose 75% of all your money if you hold. So you can't be an investor in crypto. It's kind of foolish. Like, this is funny money. Like, these coins won't come back. Like, some of them won't actually come back. So I believe the best way is a position trader. Why? Because crypto works in 4-year cycles. There's different types of traders. There's a high frequency trader. So that's like people that trade on the 15-minute time frames. There's day traders. They trade on the daily time frames. Then it's kind of like swing traders. They trade on the weekly time frame. So they're trading like week by week. They'll hold the trade for like a week or two. And then there's position traders. Position traders hold it for about 1 year to 2 years. And then there's investors. So if you look at all the short-term ones, they don't work in crypto. I know this. So if you're an investor in crypto, investors hold for 10 years. That's like kind of like investing. You just don't look at it. The problem with that is Ethereum dropped 89%. The problem with that is that Bitcoin dropped 75%.
Friends, this is Vic from the future, and I genuinely have some urgent news. Honestly, do not leave, because right now I just read some news that was only released about an hour ago about President Trump. It's like we didn't mention it in this video. I had some urgent work in the hospital over the weekend, so I couldn't actually film this until today. But anyway, now I'm here for you lads. The Trump tariffs was literally an attempt to significantly reduce the prices so the whales can buy in one final time before they do a major dump on us. But this is my theory. This is a guess. Honestly, my friends, do not go anywhere, but I'm going to show you that in a second. With this video, at the end, he was saying about Ethereum going down 89%, Bitcoin going down 75%. Just reflecting on what he said, the way I see crypto is not like the S&P 500. The market cycles of it are substantially more volatile and therefore substantially larger. My recollection as well, you don't actually get dividends from investing in any form of Bitcoin or ETF. But because that, it means you can't receive dividends and then buy more accumulation units of that crypto project that you're in. The reason that is so important is because if you buy at the peak of Ethereum or Bitcoin, like right now when the prices are at an all-time high, yes, true, even if you're going to invest 20, 30, 40 years into the future and you're going to consistently invest in Bitcoin, fair enough, that obviously the price today compared to later on will not make a difference. However, in my own opinion, in my own ethos, because I follow indicators and I know the indicators, for me personally, I feel very comfortable that these are solid indicators for me to know when the price of Bitcoin is at a very good price to buy. And when I know that the price of Bitcoin is at a very good price to buy and it's at its cheap zone, that is when I will buy it. Because all that money that I'm going to use to buy right now at the top, even if it's in the long term, I would get a greater return if it's at its cheaper zone, right? It just makes, it's common sense. Because cost averaging normally into the S&P 500, like I'm doing in my 5-a-day investing challenge, obviously it makes sense, but the market volatility in the S&P 500 and the other indexes, or even the NASDAQ, etc., is substantially lower compared to crypto. We need to take advantage of that as much as possible, because even if it means you're not going to buy for a while, you can accumulate cash to be able to then buy when it's at a very good price, meaning that your return will be substantially greater than if you bought at the top and then have to wait a year or two for the amount that you actually invested to surpass and go into profits. Whereas if you just waited and held on and accumulated cash and bought into the cheap zone, then you're balling from there. This is my own opinion though, however. I'm not recommending you do this. This is me personally, how I view crypto, especially when it comes to long-term investing. But now, my friends, we're not going to go into much detail because I don't want this video to get crazy long, but look at this screenshot that I'm about to show you right now. US and Chinese officials have reached a framework agreement, averting a potentially ruinous 157% tariff on Chinese goods, while paving the way for a potential trade deal to be discussed between President Donald Trump and Chinese leader Xi Jinping later this week. What does this mean, my friends? Like the video you saw before with CoffeeZilla, whoever the insider was, he made his money. Now they've cashed out, bought loads of Bitcoin and Ethereum, and well, they've made their money. So now this news, in my eyes, the way I see it, is to reverse back the investing sentiment by saying, actually, it's all right. And this is positive news, hopefully moving into Bitcoin following and topping out like we have all been waiting for. But of course, this is a guess. No one can actually determine what the reason is and what will happen. So now that's covered, my friends, there's only one more video that I really want to make sure that you see, because I'm very confident a lot of you will be going into these small micro cap projects. And before you do, if you do, you really need to be careful. Just have a look at this video.
Pay attention and listen, because the entire crypto market is crashing, and this is what you need to be doing right now if you want to make millions. Look, the most important thing that you need to be doing right now while the market crashes is staying away from coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and even XRP. You need to be paying attention to coins that have a 10x or a 100x potential, coins that you can only find in the Solana ecosystem. And Solana right now is down 13%, and it is sitting at a $194 price tag. But like I've said so many times before, we could see Solana run up all the way to $1,000. But if you want to make millions of dollars, you need to start investing into Solana's ecosystem. Because once Solana goes on its run, the ecosystem is going to pump even harder. This is why I have dumped over $100,000 into coins like Trust. Even though it is sitting at that $31 million market cap, I can easily see Trust go somewhere between $200 to a $500 million market cap in the next couple of days, especially on Monday, since that is when the market starts to rip up.
This picture is all I need to say. As you just saw, my friends, that is the coin that this guy was talking about. The coin that he said could easily go to 200, 500 million, currently has a market cap of 332,000. Now, I'm absolutely not hating on the guy. This is a meme coin. You never know. This coin genuinely could pump ridiculous numbers up when meme coin season comes back, because normally in a bull cycle, there's normally two, one in the beginning and one after at the end. Obviously, this is based on speculation. It's not always going to happen. But Solana did have an unprecedented run when Bitcoin actually started after the Bitcoin ETF was released. However, what will happen, we don't know. All I want to say, my friends, is just to be careful, because this guy, if it is true and he's invested $100,000 into this, he will be down 86% on his money right now, if that is the case. Because the highest the market cap went was only 41 million, unless he just dumped his coins afterwards and he was like one of the main shareholders of the coin. Look, we don't know. But the point is, my friends, just to be careful. And this guy is incorrect in my opinion. Solana isn't the only platform. Solana is the only platform in regards to meme coins where you can make crazy amount of gains, like this guy said, true. But there's also space like real world assets, AI. These are the categories that I'm personally looking into that are under the Ethereum ecosystem. My bet personally for crypto is into AI. Most of my coins that I've invested into are mid to even some micro cap coins in AI that I believe are projects that actually could do well if Ethereum really pumps, breaks its all-time high completely. Then all the coins under the Ethereum ecosystem should pump really well. Obviously, this is all based on speculation. We could go 50-50 from here. You have to feel comfortable losing your money. What I've invested, I feel comfortable losing, because the risk to reward ratio is substantially indirect. So as long as you feel comfortable that you could potentially lose 100% of your money, my friend, for the risk of you actually obtaining substantial multiples of it, for me, that's a risk I take any day of the week. But given the situations, the way things are now, I would say there's probably in my own opinion, there's probably a 60% chance of us going into a major bull run like we know normally in these 4-year cycles, and a 40% chance that we don't go into anything and we just go straight downhill. But again, this is my own opinion, my friends. Let me know what you think and your opinions down in the comments below. It would be great to hear. This video took me quite a long while, my friends, so if you did enjoy it, please do leave a like. It really helps the algorithm show it to more people that like this video like you. And I really do want to build a very strong community of only ambitious men watching my videos. So I'd appreciate your help. Thank you. If you want to join the exclusive growing community I've made for you as well, where you can interact with me and explore the many other benefits I've made for you, then the link's below in the bio for you to join. You can explore it free for 7 days anyway, my friends, so there's really no risk to you at all. And it's the most affordable price it will ever be currently for the first 100 members to join only. If you have any suggestions on what you would want to hear me talk about next, put it down in the comments below. Otherwise, my friends, YouTube recommends you watch one of these two videos over here. Click one, and I'll see you over there, my friends.